fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the full wave of the Bravo size class for Transformers Authentics from Hasbro. So these are kind of like budget Transformers. They're meant to be $5 or less. They're usually in stores like Big Lots or Five Below, things like that. I found these at Five Below, and originally I wasn't going to bother with them, but they did have like one of each of the full set, and I thought, all right, let's give them a try. They were also marked down to $3 a piece, which was another contributing factor to me picking these up. So I'm kind of really excited about the Optimus Primal one, and the Barricade here in the back looks pretty good as well. The Bumblebee, the Grimlock, we'll see. They might look a little rough, but we'll find out together. So packaging, pretty standard for these. Again, plastic-free packaging, so you have the open window here. They're just kind of like tied into some cardboard. But, I mean, there's some nice artwork here on the sides and on the front. You have a photo of the vehicle or alt mode on the top, depending on if you're dealing with a Dinobot or an Autobot or a Maximal. More artwork here on the side. Again, product shots on the back of the robot mode and the alt mode. And nothing really going on the bottom. So I'll just roll through these pretty quick so you can see. I think it's the same artwork on all three sides. Here is Bumblebee. Here is Barricade. And then here is Grimlock. So will these be great? Will these be terrible? Let's find out. I'm going to get them out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. So first up, we have Optimus Prime, and I would say that these are about 4.5 inches tall, just to give you an idea of scale. I wanted to do a couple comparisons real quick. So here is a G1 Action Master and a Epic Hero Series X-Men figure. So they're both about 4 inches, so you can see he's a little bit taller than both of them. And then here is a Earthspark one-step changer. I feel like they scale pretty well. And then here is a Playmates 5-inch Ninja Turtle figure. So just to give you an idea of scale, I would definitely say they're about 4.5 inches tall. So a little bit too tall to kind of scale with your 4-inch figures. Unless you just want to assume because they're Transformers, they're a little bit bigger. That's also possible. But just to give you an idea of scale. So we'll take this stuff away. He's okay. I mean, it's definitely a $5 figure. I'm very happy that I only paid $3 a piece for them. He's got this giant backpack here on the back, which is going to be the entire top section of the cab, which you can see is actually pretty nicely painted here. The head sculpt's not bad, honestly. The eyes are nicely painted. The face is nicely painted. You even get a little bit of paint up here in the crest. The head can swivel from side to side. You get some nice paint here for the fake windows on the chest, as well as the abdomen. Nice Autobot, well, decent Autobot symbol there on the top. It's a little smooshed, but not too terrible. And then you have some black paint down here on the kneecaps and the shins. Legs are very hollow, as you can see. Like I said, this is a giant backpack back here, so you can see you have kind of two joints there, but there is a ball joint here. So if for some reason you wanted to flip this around, you could. But it's kind of meant to go because you can see that there's two tiny tabs right here, and there are two very tiny little tab slots there on the back. Hopefully you can see those. And so that's meant to tab in there. Plus you can also see that this section here is meant to kind of fit into this little area right there. And it stays fairly well. The arms can kind of slide in and out a little bit due to transformation. And then you have a ball joint here in the shoulder. Some of the articulation is hindered because of this red piece right here kind of hitting into the shoulder piece, as you can see. And of course, the arm, forearm, everything is one solid piece. And he's got this piece of the bumper here sticking out. So, but you can see the little hand molded in there. They don't come with any accessories, so there's no guns or anything. You could probably give him a gun from somebody else. Let me see if I have someone handy here. Let's grab... Here we go. Here is a blaster from the G2 Guardian. Let me see if I can fit this in his hand. Yeah, I would say that works. I would say that fits. So if you have like a, Prime's cannon from, say, the core class, you could probably give him that. It looks like, well, that was a little tight. I don't see any like stress marks or anything, but it looks like maybe most 5mm weapons could fit in there. Not too bad. We'll put that back off to the side. He does have a ball joint here in the hip, so you can kick decently forward, decently back, decently out to the side, and then you have a ball joint here in the knee. So that can move all around, but again, very, very hollow legs there. But I mean, you know, for a little $5 Optimus Prime, it's not terrible. If you can get them on sale for $3, I think it's pretty fun. I mean, this starts to droop a little bit because of the way you can kind of push these in a little bit, but they don't really like lock into place. They kind of lock in when you pull them out. So yeah, I mean, he's okay. He's not great. But I do really like his transformation. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead, you take the arms, you push them straight up, like so, and then you actually push them in, and then they will tab together like that. So that's the two pieces of the bumper there. So make sure that's all in. And then this whole section here, which does have another Autobot symbol on the side, this is going to use those joints I showed earlier, come all the way up and peg into here. So there's your entire cab. And then you're just going to flip the legs around, and they'll come in and kind of tab behind these red tab pieces here. So kind of push that in like that. And then this will kind of flip up and go in there like that. So there is his cab mode. I kind of like it. Again, it's not the best, but it's, you know, pretty cohesive. It condenses down pretty well. Yes, you can see the whole chest and head underneath, but it's fun. It rolls decently. Obviously, it could use a ton of paint here on the side, but you do get some nice paint here on the front, and you get that little kind of sad Autobot symbol there on the side, but they're trying. And it rolls very well. So, I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted on this one. I feel like this is kind of a medium. The robot mode is okay. The cab mode is kind of fun. The transformation, I think, is fun. He just, he has kind of really floppy arms in the robot mode. But, yeah, overall, not too bad. Next up, we have Bumblebee. Bumblebee's probably my least favorite, mostly just because of the way he transforms. He's got decent paint here on the front. I feel like the head, again, decently sculpted. I feel like the silver paint on his face there is a little weird. You can kind of see like some lines in the paint, and I don't know if that has to do with like striations in the plastic. The head does not move. This one actually has a pretty good Autobot symbol there on the chest. A little bit of black here looks pretty good. The head's, you know, got nice molding and everything in there. The arms are, again, one solid piece, so they're kind of on a ball joint. But you do have this hinge in here as well. The problem for me is the legs. The legs transform very strangely, and as a result, they're kind of floppy and weird. I guess he has knee articulation, but because what happens is you kind of push these up and then push them in. And as a result, if you can kind of see in there, there's like a weird ball joint or something going on in there. I don't know. It makes for very weird floppy legs, and I'm not a huge fan of that. But transformation is very simple. You literally just pop these up, and they will peg together over his head like that. Flip these up and push them together, and you're done. The vehicle mode is not great. So you have painted windshield here, painted black. Then you have this section just all open, which looks really weird. Decent Autobot symbol there on the side. I think the grill and the headlights up here are painted pretty well, but this also doesn't hold together super well because of the way it transforms. So paint applications up here, okay. Once again, rolls okay, no paint back here. I'm not a big fan of the windshield being painted black and then having this all open. It just looks really strange. And then, like I said, these are constantly moving around. I wish if they could click into place somehow, that'd be nice. Most of the robot just hanging out underneath there. So it's a quick and easy transformation, but what you're left with, I don't think looks that good. It's just kind of a giant yellow brick with just the windshield painted, which to me is just very strange. Last up for the Autobots, we have Grimlock, leader of the Dinobots. Although he is the only Dinobot. But he looks okay. I think they did a decent job with him. You have the standard T-Rex head and the wings hanging out here on the back. Now, there is one bit you have to attach when you unhook this. There's kind of this, I don't know, hammer-looking joint back here, and it's kind of hard to explain. But there's this piece here, which is connected when you get it, and then it's got these two cylinders here that you have to, this whole back piece, that's the first time that's popped off. This whole back piece comes separate, and you have to clip it on. You can kind of see how there's these clasps on the side. So you have to clip this whole piece on, and then it's got these 4 pegs, 2 on each end, and they take turns clipping into this. So in robot mode, it's going to clip into the top ones. For Dino mode, it's going to clip into the bottom ones. So you bring that down and just peg that into the back. And that actually works pretty well to keep that in place, which I like a lot. Let me go ahead and connect this back on. Let's see, like this. There we go. So that's not too bad. You'll be tempted to kind of push this down further, but you can't. So, decent paint applications. I think the head actually looks pretty good. The eyes are painted nice. Autobot symbol looks pretty good. Got some red down here, a little bit of silver. The gold painted here I think looks pretty good. So, I mean, all in all, I think they did a decent job with it. Articulation-wise, the head is on kind of a ball joint. So you get limited up and down movement. You can look side to side, no problem. Ball joint here for the shoulder. Can't really do all that much, honestly, because it's kind of in the center there. You have this ball joint here for this weird elbow. Obviously, we're going to swivel this around for the T-Rex leg, but it just has this kind of fist, I guess. It's kind of molded in there, but then like I would have filled this section in because it just looks like this disembodied fist. You have a ball joint here in the hip and then just a hinge in the knee. But overall, I mean, it's not terrible. He looks like Grimlock. Very obviously empty legs here. That's going to be for the transformation. But, you know, again, would have been nice to get an accessory, but not the worst. Transformation-wise, again, we're going to swivel this around. And there is your T-Rex leg, so just swivel that around 180. You're going to unhook this section, bring it up, and then, like I said, peg it into the bottom set of pegs down here, like so. Make sure that's pegged in, and then you're going to just bring these. It's a little tight, I will admit, to get these over the shoulders, but you can do it. There we go. Make sure that's pegged in. Bring this around, clip that into place, bring the legs down, and then you're just going to connect the feet so they'll peg in up here, and then this kind of locks around and kind of goes around the back, and then you just bring it down on top, and then this just flips around like so, and this also has to kind of clear the shoulders. So yeah, there he is. He has no arms. They are just molded on here. The mouth cannot open, the neck cannot move at all. So he looks a little goofy in the T-Rex mode, I will admit. But you have the tiny little stubby tail there. So you can kind of... I mean, he'll stand as a dino. But I feel like he really needs the hands. I understand why they skimped on that, because it's more articulation and more pieces. Much easier just to mold it in there. But I'm not a huge fan of the T-Rex head. It's okay. And there's a nice little bit of paint here for the eye and the neck area, but I don't know. Just a little weird. Little weird proportionally, I should say. But yeah, there's Grimlock. Next up is Barricade. I actually think Barricade is one of the best ones that we've gotten. Yeah, he's really not too bad. You have the nice gold paint here for the windshield, which is a little weird because there's no other gold windows on this, but you have some red here for the light bar. You have police written on the side. I think the head sculpt really works. It's simple, but I like it a lot. The nice yellow eyes, the silver looks really good. The white here, the Decepticon symbol, very sharp. Legs down here I think look pretty good. So articulation-wise, you can spin the head from side to side. You have this hinge here kind of you know, in the body, as well as this ball joint here in the shoulder, as well as an elbow bend. Where did you come from, and where have you been on everybody else? You have a decent ball joint here in the hip. You can kind of kick pretty far forward. Can't really kick out to the side at all because of how it kind of hits into the hip area, thigh area, whatever you want to call that. You have a ball joint here in the knee, but that's a little limited. And then you can you have these little flaps. So this piece moves and you can kind of move the foot. And then you have this little piece to kind of come down and fill in the gap, which I appreciate. So I like this guy a lot. Now in the packaging, this section was down here like this, but you can actually lift this up. There's kind of like a, you know, a little double jointed piece there to lift that up. I think he looks great. I really do. I like the look of him. I like the articulation. He's got the elbows, which nobody else has so far. So I think they did a really great job with him. I don't know if he got more budget than everybody else, but he is my favorite so far. Transformation-wise, we're going to straighten out the arms here like this. We are going to, you kind of pull this up. I guess actually we have to pull the arms down first. So this goes up like that. The arms go up. And then you kind of push this down because it's on kind of like a pull system where there's some room for the piece to move. So then you kind of push it in like that. You're going to flip these pieces up like so. Then you're going to flip this around. You want to straighten out the feet because they need to kind of tuck underneath the roof of the car here. So flip these underneath like that. And then start to push this all into place. This will kind of lightly tab into each other back here. Assuming I can get it all to line up. There we go. And then this will just kind of rock back like this. So he doesn't hold together amazingly, but he holds together enough. And then you have a pretty cool little police car there. Now, unfortunately, because of the giant holes here, which are needed for the joint, he's got, like, you know, Pixar Cars syndrome, where it just looks like a face to me. So that's a bit of a bummer. But otherwise, you got the nice gold there. You got the paint for the light bar. You got all the white here, the Decepticon symbol. You got the paint here on the sides. I think it looks great. I really do. I think it's a pretty convincing little cop car. Rolls pretty well. Nice robot mode. You can kind of see him a little bit underneath there, but not too terribly. Yeah, he's pretty great. And I have saved the best for last. Optimus Primal. This guy is a ton of fun. Now, he does have a little bit of hollowness back here on the back of the legs, but otherwise, he looks pretty great. He actually has accessories. You can see these guns here on the back, so you can unpeg those from the back. You can actually peg them into these holes here on the side of the head, if you want to give him the shoulder-mounted cannon look, or he can hold them, which is pretty cool. So that gives you 3 options for the weapons, on the back, on the shoulders, or in his hands. So I love that. We'll take these off, put these off to the side. Head sculpt looks fantastic. I think that looks so good, especially for a figure this size. It's kind of a rubbery plastic, but it works. Side to side, no problem. Have a little bit of up and down, but not a ton. You have the nice molding here on the chest. You got the shoulders here. He's even got the guns molded into the side of his hands. They're not painted, but they are molded. Nice paint here on the thighs and on the kneecaps. You've got, again, molding for those pieces here for the, like, robot feet. Not painted, but molded. They look pretty good. So, yeah, I like this guy a lot. I think they did a really great job with him. Articulation-wise, we already went over the head. You can move the arm. You have a little bit, you have kind of a, I don't think it's a ball joint. No, I think it's just a rotation and a hinge. Then you have like a weird limited ball joint here in the elbow. Now that is a little hollow there, which is a bummer, but it's really not that big a deal. All of the hair and everything molded in for the hands, I think looks great. You can get a waist swivel, part of transformation. Got hips here. Now, the hips on mine are a little loose, but I still having a ton of fun with them. Decent range of motion there. Can't really kick out to the side, but can kick back and forth pretty good. And then you've got a ball joint here for the knee, so you can move that around pretty good. What did I just do? Oh, I just discovered a new point of articulation that I didn't know about. So you have the ball joint here, but then you also have a ball joint in here, so it's like a barbell joint. I did not know about that. That's interesting. So that's some more articulation. And then you have kind of a ball joint here for the foot. So if you wanted, you could give him monkey feet, but you don't have to. It's not needed for the transformation. But yeah, so he's got a good amount of articulation, really nice molding. The fur, I think, looks great. The head looks good. You know, he doesn't have a ton of paint, but I feel like he has it where it counts, and everywhere else they just use different colored plastic. Yeah, he's pretty great. All right, let's go ahead. Transformation, we're going to spin him around at the waist, 180. We're going to just fold down the shoulder pads. The back is going to fold down here like this and kind of just rest there to kind of cover the monkey butt area. This is going to flip back. This is going to pull forward and then spin around, which can be a little tight. There's some clearance issues, I will admit, but you can get it to go. So, come on, robot head. I think the problem is it gets pushed in sometimes. Okay, what are you doing to me here? Is the monkey head caught? Yeah, the monkey head's caught. There we go. Okay, then you push that back in, kind of lift the monkey head out, close this back. Oh, before you do that, you rotate this around. Which way? Rotate it. I guess I should do that before I switch the head. But, I mean, all that paint there, that looks fantastic. So close this up, leave the monkey head out like that. And then you just kind of do what you can with the legs. I'm trying to see if there's any reason I would want to use that side joint. I can't really think of one. Maybe just to kind of push this out to the side a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that joint's there for. I just kind of bend, you know, like this and kind of put him in a monkey pose position. Something like that. So, I mean, like the front of the gorilla mode I think looks really good. The gorilla head I think looks fantastic. The chest is really nicely done. The back area is not so great. This really just kind of rests back here. I kind of wish that snapped into something or did something for the legs. But it just kind of fills that area. And it works. It's fine. And if you really wanted him to stand up in monkey mode, you could. The gorilla face looks decently forward. So if you wanted him to just stand around as a gorilla, you could do that too. And then you can peg these back into the back. So yeah, I think this is the best one, easily. I really like this one a lot. He's fun. He's a decent little transformation. I think he works in both modes. He comes with accessories. The paint applications are good. Articulation, I feel like, is more than everyone else. Just overall, I really like this one a lot. So, at the end of the day, some of these are more successful than others. I've kind of positioned them here in order of my favorite. I easily think Bumblebee is the worst. I just think the robot mode's not that great with the weird spindly legs. The transformation is very simple, I'll give it that. But the car mode you're left with doesn't look very good. You have a painted windshield and then the windows on the side are all open. It's just kind of a yellow block. It's just not really that great. Grimlock, I think, is probably the next worst. He's not bad. The robot mode is decent, but the hands are kind of weird, and the transformation to the T-Rex mode is fine, but then you're left with the no-arm T-Rex with, you know, the head stuck at a weird angle with no opening jaw or anything like that. And again, I get it. These are budget toys. I don't expect them to have everything, but just because of that, I just don't think he's that successful in T-Rex mode. Robot mode, not bad, but T-Rex mode, just not all that great. I think Prime is probably right in the middle there. Robot mode's not bad. I like the transformation a lot. I think it's very fun the way it's done, and I like the cab mode decently. I'm not a huge fan of these kind of like loose, spindly shoulder pieces here. If there was a way to kind of do them a little better. And they don't stand very well either. I'll have to say that for them. Let's see if we can get these two to stand up. I think Barricade is pretty great, honestly. I think he looks great in robot mode. I think the vehicle mode looks good. more articulation than most of the others. I just think that it was very successful with this one, but I have to give it to Primal. I think Primal is easily the best one. Most articulation, you know, the robot mode and gorilla mode are both pretty successful. I think the robot mode's a little bit more successful, but the head sculpts look great in both modes. Comes with accessories, just all around a really good time. So, do you need these? Probably not. I mean, I don't think, you know, collectors generally need to grab these, but if you wanted to pick your favorite and have it as a desk toy or something like that, or if you just wanted something, you know, to kind of scale with 4-inch figures or something like that. I mean, we're already getting Core Class, and the Core Class figures are pretty fantastic. They're about double the price of these each. These are, I believe, supposed to retail for $5 a piece, and for $5, I think that's fair. The plastic is not as cheap as I thought it would be. Honestly, the individual plastic pieces feel pretty solid, even when they're hollow. Like, they don't feel flimsy or like they're going to break or anything like that, so I do appreciate that. And you actually get a little bit more paint than I expected. Some accessories would be nice, but I totally get it. So I would say pick or choose your favorite. Like, if you just really want Optimus, or if you want Optimus Primal or something like that, I think they can be kind of a fun little desk toy. But for the most part, most collectors are probably buying the Core Class figures, which are, yes, double the price, but they're the same size. Certainly, you know, more sturdy, better transformations, accessories, things like that. But if you don't really want to go in for the full Core Class, or you want to kind of go for quantity over quality, these are an option. You can, like I said, you can find them at Five Below, Big Lots, things like that. Sometimes even like drugstores, you know, places that just kind of have a quick little toys, things like that. For $5 a piece, I think they're fair. I don't think the price is ridiculous. You just have to know what you're getting into going in. But I think they can be a lot of fun. Like I said, I really kind of am enjoying these three. These two, not as much. Grimlock's kind of right on the fence for me. I can't decide. I might just put him somewhere in robot mode and leave him because he looks pretty good. Again, I have the Core Class Grimlock, though, which is also pretty great. In any case, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear from you. Are you bothering with these? Are you sticking to Core Class? I mean, like I said, they are half the price, so that is an option. Or if you want to get a couple characters, I probably should have shown you how they actually scale with Core Class. Wouldn't that have made the most sense? Can't believe I didn't think about that until just now. Here is a Core Class figure, so you can see that they're slightly taller. We got one of our Core Class Dinobots here. So they're slightly taller. I would say these are probably 4-inch, these are probably 4.5. So I would think you could probably just go grab one of these two and just put them with your Core Class figures, and they'd probably scale pretty well, especially Primal, because I feel like he should be a little bit bigger. So I know we're getting a couple, I think we're getting a couple Beast Wars characters. I think we're getting like a Core Class Beast Wars Dinobot at some point. So you could definitely grab this guy and put him with your Core Class Dinobot. I think that would totally work. But yeah, I mean, do you need... Most of these have already been done in Core Class, but I would say these guys could definitely be picked up and put with your Core Class, and they'd scale pretty well. In any case, like I said, let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.